What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Rush Mike. I am on my way to do my recycling. My bottles, cans, boxes. So I'm sort of feeling like Ray from Trailer Park Boys. Maybe I could get some $27 so I could play some VLTs. Get some more booze. Really though, I'm not getting any money from these recyclables. I just do it because it's the right thing to do. So as I started my car and started hearing my radio, it's reminded me of something I needed to address with this video series. So two of my videos got recently demonetized due to playing music there, and that's a copyright issue apparently. I guess YouTube has some sort of software, kind of like Shazam, where it'll listen to whatever video you're playing and tell you exactly what song that is. So recorded music will get you demonetized, which means, and I'm not really expecting to make any money off these videos, at least not now, but I'd like to keep that option open. And when your video gets demonetized, it gets whatever ad revenue, can't make any money off the ad revenue or whatever. I've still got to figure it out the whole economics of this, but that means for the time being I will not be able to play the radio during these videos, or at least not at a volume audible enough to be picked up by YouTube. So I recently got some very, very concerning news that my mother's friend's stepsister, who lives in New York, just died of the coronavirus. She was in her 70s, I'm told. I never met the woman, but that's my first real sort of personal connection to the coronavirus, or at least to a death from a coronavirus. I think I talked my last video about my brother's boss testing positive for coronavirus, but I don't think anything has happened to her on that front. But yeah, this woman who died, she lives in New York, which if you've been reading, the news, New York's been hit especially bad with coronavirus. Ironic, since one, I'm wearing a Yankees hat. Two, New York is probably the place I'd love to live permanently. In any other circumstance, I would love to live in New York. I mean, I go there all the time, at least once a year, and I absolutely love it every time. But right now, the city is in a huge, huge panic. This may actually be worse than when New York was hit by 9/11. Like, after the Twin Towers fell down, they came together, they worked hard and got the city back up and running. But I don't know how this will affect New York from here on out. In other news, I just heard Rand Paul tested positive for coronavirus, and that's kind of good news, cause fuck that guy. There's a lot of cars out on the road today, though. It's really, really concerning. Like, with this much panic about the pandemic as there is, there should not be this many cars on the road. And it's Sunday. Most people aren't going to work. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. But, let's talk about something a little more lighthearted. So apparently ESPN2 is becoming ESPN the Ocho, which I guess was never really a thing. I think it just came from Dodgeball, the movie, where they play these really insane sports like stone skipping competitions and What else? Electrician competitions. There's a bratwurst eating contest. That seemed pretty cool because I love bratwurst. There was cornhole, which I've seen on ESPN too, like at times before. Cornhole, which always reminds me of Cornholio, Beavis's alter ego. I am Cornholio. I need TP for my bunghole. But if we're talking about actual sports, I've heard Australia is actually doing so. At the very least, the Australian Football League is holding matches behind closed doors, and the A-League, the National Soccer League, is holding matches behind closed doors. So it seems to me that Australia has probably been affected by the coronavirus, but not that much because it's so geographically isolated. Although there are a lot of immigrants in Australia, so who knows? And if Australia is apparently doing well enough to hold live sports, what about New Zealand? It's also an island. It's much smaller. They've got probably the best rugby in the world. Even though South Africa won the World Cup, the Rugby World Cup. But yeah, and of course, hearing about that, I'm thinking, wow, I would really love to travel to Australia right around now. The problem is, A, I would run the risk of spreading the virus. B, it's incredibly expensive to fly to Australia. Like, I look at the airfares for international flights all the time, and yes, they've taken a dip recently, given the news, but for flights to Sydney are still consistently over $1,000. Like, even in a good economy, you don't really see that many flights to over $1,000, except to places like Australia. I mean, I could, in a good economy, I could fly to China for about half that much. I could fly to Japan or to London for about half that much. Maybe not half, but you get the idea. So you gotta fly over the Pacific Ocean, I guess, and I'm sure that takes up a lot of jet fuel. So, about to get to the recycling center pretty soon. I'm not going to show it to y'all because I want to keep my location a bit of a secret, but we are about to pass the theater where I did my last play, 12th Night, and just beyond the theater is going to be the recycling center. So I drive this through it all the time. I can do it with my eyes closed. Not that I'm going to. So I woke up today, it was like 48 degrees. That was extremely cold. But now it's like really nice out. Let me check the weather. It says 51. Yeah, it says 51, but it does not feel like 51. It feels like it's at least 60, so. Man, I don't understand things sometimes. Especially with the whole global warming going on. Oh, motherfucker. This guy just double parked, and the space I wanted to drive into is too narrow. This place. It's not optimal, but it'll do. All right. There we are. Any other news? I have a Hulu account that I got with my phone plan, and recently I've been watching. It shows a lot of the really good old cartoons, but one show I've been watching a lot the last couple days is Danny Phantom, one of my favorite shows on Nickelodeon. back in like 2004 or so. And it was really relatable to me because Danny Fenton was 14 and I was 14 when the show came out, and it was basically a show about high school with some awesome action and fighting to go along with it. And there's episode to episode continuity, which you don't see a whole lot with kids cartoons. So that was really cool. And the plots are really mature and sophisticated, which I loved. But yeah, if you have a Hulu account, check out Danny Phantom. That ran 2004 to, I think it was 2008, when a high school friend of mine just broke the news that the show had been canceled. I don't know if the show had been canceled or if it had just ended, because this final episode seemed pretty climactic to me. But at any rate, it lasted 3 seasons. I'd say about 50 episodes in all, give or take. So give that a look when you're sequestered in your home. All right, that'll be it for now. Have a good day, y'all.